Can you enjoy camping while being pregnant? My husband and I love to go camping, but when I got pregnant, I started to wonder, are we going to have to put our camping trips on hold, or am I just going to be miserable every time we go camping? And perhaps you've wondered the same thing. I'm currently 38 weeks pregnant, but we have gone camping twice during this pregnancy, once when I was 30 weeks and once when I was 36 weeks pregnant. And I just wanted to share with you a little bit of what I learned, because I wasn't miserable and I was able to enjoy our experience, but there were some important things that I did to ensure that I was able to enjoy my experience. But probably the most important thing of all of this, and you already know this, but I'll say it anyways, the most important thing is to know your own limitations and to follow any recommendations from your physician. Every woman and every pregnancy is different, and so the most important people to listen to is yourself, your body, and also your healthcare provider. So that's the most important thing. But other than that, if you don't have any health restrictions and are able to go camping and hiking and things like that, then there are 3 things that really helped me with our camping trips. So the first one is to plan ahead. And I'll give you a few examples of this. Well, first of all, this is important because when you're pregnant, you're not as quick and agile as you normally are. And sometimes you don't think about how that'll impact you. But if you plan your camping trip in advance and give yourself plenty of time to pack and get supplies ready, that's more ideal. Sometimes my husband and I would plan a trip, and like that afternoon we'd get all the stuff in the car, we'd get the food ready, and we would go. Not going to happen when I'm 30 weeks pregnant. So definitely important to kind of give yourself time to plan and prepare. Also, food. When you're pregnant, food is really important. You're always eating and wanting to eat good foods, and so planning that ahead is really essential to make sure that you have enough, have meals, snacks, you've got everything available. But in addition to that is that, camping is pretty active, so you will probably get tired quicker than you normally would. And so it's good to have the food planned ahead and as easy to prepare as possible. So for example, when I was 30 weeks pregnant, we went camping and we had hamburgers for dinner. And I literally got everything ready so that when we got to the campsite, my husband was in charge of, getting the fire started and cooking the hamburgers, and I put up the tent. And by the time I had set up the tent, I was ready to sit down and eat. And I wasn't in the mood to be chopping tomatoes or slicing cheese or, getting lettuce ready or anything like that. And so I had done all of that at home in the comfort of my kitchen when I could take a rest before our trip. So everything was quite literally just put it on the hamburger and it's ready to go and eat. So that's a good thing to plan ahead as well. Another example is clothing. When you're pregnant, your body temperature changes a little bit, and so you might not know how you're going to react, especially if you don't go camping while you're pregnant a lot. Maybe you only go camping one time during one pregnancy, and you're not entirely sure if you're going to be too hot or too cold, depending on how the weather is. And so I would say just kind of plan for both and take whatever clothing you need accordingly. It may seem like you're taking a lot of clothes, but when you're pregnant and you're too hot or you're too cold, it's miserable. So better to just take what you need, be prepared, and try to be comfortable. The last thing I want to talk about with planning ahead is peeing. Super big. This is probably one of the biggest important things. When you're pregnant, you start having to go to the bathroom more and more, and so you want to be close to a bathroom. So when you're planning your camping trip, that's one thing to be aware of, is how far away is the bathroom from the campsite that you've reserved, or if you can't reserve a campsite, to make sure you get one that's as close to the bathroom as possible. Also, if you're planning a hike, not all hikes have access to a bathroom, but if you can find one that does maybe have a bathroom on the trail, that's of course going to be better for you. And also peeing at night. I don't know if everybody's like this, but I have heard that other people have this experience. But the further along you get in your pregnancy, you start having to pee maybe 2-3 times during the night. And I hate getting up in the middle of the night while camping to go to the bathroom. I just hate it. It's dark and, you got to go into the bathroom and it's just miserable. So one thing that I did, someone told me about this and I tried it, and it has worked for me 2 times now, so I highly suggest it. is just planning ahead. So about an hour before you are planning to go to bed, stop drinking water, and kind of like that, those 2 hours before bed, go to the bathroom a couple times. You know, go to the bathroom 2 hours before, and then go to the bathroom 1 hour before, and then go to the bathroom 30 minutes before, just to make sure your bladder's really empty. And hopefully that'll make it so you don't have to go to the bathroom like in the middle of the night. So I did this both times that we went camping, and I managed to not wake up until like 6 a.m. and have to go to the bathroom at 6 a.m., which to me is acceptable. It's better than waking up at 2 and then waking up at, 5. So my second tip is to be good to yourself. Camping while you're pregnant is not the time to prove how rugged you are. I would say it's a time to take care of yourself and listen to your body. So, and to just be good to yourself. I think it's okay to be to make accommodations so that you're comfortable, because you want to enjoy the camping experience. You don't want to go and be miserable. So, the really big one for me with this is the sleeping situation. Sleeping in a tent is not generally the most pleasant experience anyways, and when you're pregnant, it's very hard to get comfortable while sleeping anyways, and so putting the two together seems like the worst idea in the world. Why would you camp and sleep in a tent while you're pregnant? So I worked really hard to set up a sleeping situation so that I felt like I would be maybe not as comfortable as I am at home, but at least close enough. And I just say no guilt, ladies. If you want to go camping while you're pregnant, do what you need to make yourself comfortable while you're sleeping, so you can get as much sleep as you can. On both of our camping trips when I was 30 weeks pregnant and 36 weeks pregnant, I kind of had this elaborate, we had kind of memory foam bed toppers, we had like multiple layers of blankets, I took all the pillows from my bed, which is like 6 pillows, and I just really wanted to be comfortable, and I thought it was acceptable. I didn't feel like I was more uncomfortable than if I had been at home. So to me, that's a win. And if you're interested in seeing kind of how I set it up, I have an article on our website that you can check out that shows all my different layers that I used to make sure that I was able to sleep comfortably. If you just go to carcampingtips.com/sleep comfortably, you can kind of check out some suggestions of how to do that. So some other things to be aware of when you're trying to be good to yourself while you're camping is to make sure that you eat and drink enough. When you're outside in camping, like I said, it's very active, but even if you're not doing a lot of activity, it still takes a toll on your body to be outside. And so you want to make sure that you stay hydrated and that you're eating enough. So don't skimp on the food there. Make sure you take enough for what you need. And also go easy on the activities. Don't push yourself. My husband and I usually do a hike when we go camping. And for both of these times, it was really kind of evaluating, how do I feel in the morning? What hikes are available? Are there any that are pretty easy? How many miles do I think I could handle? And on the first trip when I was 30 weeks, I thought I could handle maybe like a mile hike, so we did a little hike. And then on the second one, no hike. I just wasn't going to be able to do it. So don't push yourself. Don't, go and enjoy the experience. And if that means you maybe aren't doing everything that you usually would do, that's okay too. You can still have a good time. So my last tip is to be flexible. So like I've mentioned many times before, and as you know, you just are going to be moving slower when you're pregnant, and you probably won't feel up to doing everything that you normally would on a camping trip. And so I would say be flexible. If you were planning to do an activity and then that day you just really don't feel like you can do it, it's okay. Don't do it. You also want to give yourself plenty of time because you're going to be moving slower. So you might not be able to just, throw things in the car and go like you normally would, or you might not be able to just pop out of bed and eat breakfast and be ready to go. I know for me, I took a nap after breakfast on our first camping trip when I was 30 weeks pregnant. So be flexible. Don't plan anything don't plan to be rushed. You know, don't plan activities that are like, we have to do this activity or die. And it's good to make sure that your camping mates know that they don't have some expectation that you're going to be, you know, ripping and raring to go like you usually are, you know, that you're kind of going to play it by ear, just to accommodate how you're feeling in the moment. So those are my 3 main things. Plan ahead, be good to yourself, and be flexible. And like I said, on the 2 times that we went camping during this pregnancy, I was able to enjoy myself following those tips and kind of changing my expectations. I did want to mention one last thing, and that is that when I was 36 weeks pregnant, I underestimated a little bit the way that my body would change and how I would feel as I got more pregnant. So don't underestimate that fact. Remember that as you get more pregnant, you're going to be more tired and you might have to make more adjustments. So I made a reservation for a camping site that we love, that we've camped before, and we really were excited about going to. But that you park the car and then it's a 2 or 3 minute walk to the campsite. So the bathroom and the car were, you know, 2 to 3 minutes away from the campsite, which normally is not a big deal, but being 36 weeks pregnant, it was not good for me. So I didn't take my own little tip there and think ahead about planning how far away the bathroom was. So I would just say keep that in mind. Remember, as you get more pregnant, you will be more uncomfortable and be slower. So take that into account when you're making plans for camping. If you're interested in more details about how to not be miserable while camping and how to enjoy the experience, you can check out the article that we've got on our website, carcampingtips.com/bun-in-the-oven. Thanks for watching, and all you pregnant ladies out there that want to go camping, you can do it. Just plan accordingly. I don't know, that sounds lame.